Hi, this is Guitarist Denis Taaffe, and I want to welcome you to the making of my 98th album, which was actually the 8th album release of 2007. And the album is called Modern Rock Guitar, Volume 98, Life in the New Ice Age. And in parentheses, featuring the Line 6 Variax modeling guitar. Okay. And for those who aren't familiar with my music or approach to music, basically I play guitar and I use loops done on the fly. Meaning, I have pedal boards that record a little bit of what I'm playing, and then starts to loop it, and then I layer loops on top of that. In addition, I also emulate bass on guitar by dropping what I'm playing by an octave, and then looping that as well. And all my tracks are improvised on the spot. And I never add overdubs later on or anything like that, or work out stuff in advance. It's pretty much improvised. So what you hear in the studio is really what you hear on the album. Now, this album was done in 2007. And in 2007, I was still using pre-recorded samples, though I was starting to grow out of them, and sometimes I would just use them for fun, and it's no different here. The album is 10 tracks, and it's 73 minutes and 48 seconds long, and which is a pretty long album, really, if you think of it. Most albums are about half that, really. Okay, in any case, let's take a look at the album cover. Okay, and kind of a strange picture. And it was actually, at that time, Chuck Terrell was providing the photos for the album covers. He would just send them to me, and I would pick the ones I'd like. And in this case, I picked one that had ice and snow on grass blades. I thought it was a neat idea. So a real simple album cover at that time. Okay, and of these 10 tracks, let's start. We'll go track by track here. And remember what I was telling you about the pre-recorded samples? Well, this first track is a very strange track, and it has no guitar on it whatsoever. In fact, I don't think I played anything on it. I think I may have, done the drum machines, and there were just presets as well. And I'm not sure what it signified. I don't know what I was thinking there exactly. It's called Inside the Alien Craft, and it's a great intro track. Though you hear it back now, and sounds more like somebody going to the restroom before proceeding, so let's take a listen to that real quick. And it's supposed to be Inside the Alien Craft. Yeah, so there we got the drum. Okay, very bizarre intro track, and it's 1 minute and 22 seconds, and we've done about 25 seconds of it. But it's just an intro track for the album, and it does fit with the tracks that are coming up. Now, obviously, the big deal about this album at the time was that it featured the Line 6 Variax guitar. And in this case, it was the Variax 300. And at the time, Line 6 was a company, and what they did is they modeled different guitars. So you had one electric guitar, and by flicking a switch, you could make it sound like a Stratocaster or a Les Paul. All kinds of different guitars, even acoustic guitars, even a banjo. And when you connected it to the Line 6 Pod XT Live pedal board, you could automatically switch between guitar sounds. And it really gave you, the different guitar sounds. They were pretty authentic. Now, I should let you know that the Variax technology is still around, and Line 6 still makes Variax guitars. However, back then, they had put the technology in a really cheap guitar. I mean, I think it was under $300, at the time. Nowadays, I think it's like $1,500, for a Variax system. And in fact, unfortunately, I sold that guitar fairly recently. I just wasn't using it anymore. As BB King would say, the thrill is gone. But I had a lot of fun creating it and enjoyed experimenting with the different sounds. Alright, so let's go to track 2, and it's called The Alien Agenda. And here, obviously, you'll hear the Line 6 Variax guitar, and you'll hear it with a tremolo sound, pretty pronounced. Okay, so here's The Alien Agenda, about 7 minutes long. Yeah, there's that tremolo. As I recall, I was pretty thrilled with the sound and getting it to feedback like that. I thought it was a really neat sound. Very alien-like. And there I start looping layers, all with a Variax guitar. Okay. And let's fast forward that one to about 4 minutes. So there's some distorted guitar. And there's an album by Tangerine Dream, and it was a soundtrack to the film Thief, and very much had this similar type of lead guitar sound, and I believe I had that in mind when I was playing it. Let's fast forward a little bit, 5 minutes 32 seconds. probably a guitar solo and things. Alright, let's move on. Track 3. Remember that Variax guitar, even though it's an electric, can make it sound like an acoustic guitar as well. And I use some of that here, I believe. Number 3, Waking Up in the Woods. Right? And obviously this is a narrative in the song titles to the the alien story of the guy who was they made a film of it, Fire in the Sky, I think it was called, where the guy went into the woods and was abducted by aliens, and then weeks later, they found him. The aliens had dropped him off, I guess. Okay. Well, anyway, let's take a listen to that. There we go, and there's a Variax guitar. It very much sounds kind of like a slide guitar, but it isn't really. It's close. And obviously I had Led Zeppelin in mind. This kind of Led Zeppelin-y type. Yeah, especially that little hangman type of sound. It sounds like a slide, but I didn't have a slide. I just basically took my finger all the way up to the 12th fret, and slid it up that way and made it sound like a slide. Okay, and it's 2 minutes 39 seconds, so we'll fast forward just a bit, see where that goes. 129 here. Not much change, really. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a neat guitar sound from that Variax guitar. And I thought, it was less than $300, so really, for the price of a decent acoustic, you were getting all these extra sounds. Alright, now here's the title track, track 4, Life in the New Ice Age. And this one's a long track, 9 minutes and 46 seconds long. Let's take a listen. Oh yes, I remember. This had the Stratocaster, pre-CBS Stratocaster sound on the Variax. Since it's a long track, we'll fast forward. 5 minutes 16 mark. There's a different Variax sound. It's actually an acoustic sound. Baby. Sorry. Curious cat. like about that track is that I wasn't rushed, you know. I think early on I was really rushed to show, you know, what I could do playing wise, so I throw in the solos, you know, as quickly as possible. Here is more listening and trying to make it more musical, in any case. Okay, number 5, okay, is Along the River. Okay. My cat's never done this before. I don't know what's gotten into him. He's cleaning his paws. Okay, anyway, Along the River, number 5. And it's 6 minutes, 36 seconds. Let's hear that. Yes, here's another acoustic, and I actually really like this track. It's several layers of acoustic line 6 guitars. I think one of them was a preset called Jumbo Acoustic. It really did sound kind of boxy, kind of woody, kind of acoustic. Alright, let's fast forward that a bit. 4-minute mark. Okay. And you'll hear here at that 4-minute mark there's that banjo sound, which is actually made from the cdbaby, really. Do you mind? Okay, let's let cdbaby clean up. Okay, he's gone. Alright, so anyway, remember that it could do a banjo sound, so of course I couldn't resist to throw some of that in. And that's probably the sound I'll miss most from the Variax guitar. That was a lot of fun. So there. Yeah, so there was kind of a banjo-ish sound. I do recall, I remember I did an album where I did a lot of acoustic things. I can't remember what number it is. It was later. I think it was like 100 and some album. And I played it for my mom. She said it sounded like a 4-year-old. So from that moment I really stuck to electric guitar. And, well, it suits me a little better. Okay. Number 6, Terraforming the Planet. Those darn aliens. Okay, and another long track, 9 minutes. Let's hear that one. Yeah. Pretty nice. Those are harmonics on the Variax guitar. Yeah. And really, this was the idea to do it with all the Variax guitar was just to do something different than I had done previously. You know, and I'd had that Variax guitar for a while and hadn't really used it for much. Let's fast forward a bit. 5-minute mark. 5:20. There's some nice clean guitar. Layers. I don't remember what electric model it was. I know one of them was also Telecaster. I really like that track, just for the idea that by that time I was trying to be aware of spacing, you know, not rushing everything and trying to make it more musical, you know. And, okay. And I guess it's something you learn, because it really took me a long time to do that. You know, if you listen to some of my early stuff, man, from the second it started, it was just full on, every sound I could possibly do, every, technique and so on, all at once. So, yeah, that was something to learn. The space made things more musical. When not to play was just as important as when to play. Okay, number 7 is 7 minutes 31 seconds, and it's a track called -0. Let's hear that. Let's go to the 5-minute mark. Let's say 4:35. Kind of a strange track. There's some of the backwards guitar, and it's actually being layered. It's not creating what sounds like a synthesizer kind of thing. Can't say I'm thrilled with the drum sounds. However, it does fit the album pretty well. Okay. So let's move on. Following the Contrails. Let's check that one out. My God. 14 minutes and 45 seconds long, this track. Guitar, and then a layer of distorted guitar. And for it to be this long, it must have a big solo in it, I'm not sure. Yeah. So here we go, here's the guitar solo. Now notice that the solo is more in time with the track. Early on, it was the same kind of thing. When I was solo, a lot of times I wouldn't be in time, and I would just basically play as fast as I could. Sweep as quickly as I could, and play, lots of notes, run the scales, and so on. Here, a lot more paced correctly, if you like, timed better to the track, So let's hear a little more. Actually, let's fast forward. Let's go to the 5-minute mark. Clean guitar solo. actually really pleased to hear that, because it was the same kind of thing as I said before. Early on, I had no concept of timing during the solos and picking notes that were, tasty, if you like, that would fit correctly. It was more, like I said, running scales, playing lots of notes, and showing off technique and that kind of thing, which is fun to do, but not very musical. So here I really had it in my mind to try to make it more melodic and not always using distortion. Since it's such a long track, we'll fast forward to the 10-minute mark. So let's do that. If I can get there. 10:01, here we go. Setting on the Line 6 Variax. So that was a lot of fun to record, and when I was playing those solos, I just get lost in it, And sometimes when I kind of snapped out of it or got to the end, I don't remember what key the song was in. Okay, and these are long tracks. Okay, number 9, In an Alien Pod. Okay, 12 minutes 57 seconds. Let's hear that, another long track. Here you'll hear I've added some samples to give you that alien feel, sound. Let's see where that one goes. 5:49. Swell guitar. For those who don't know, swell guitar is where you pick a note, but with the volume down, and after you pick the note, you turn up the volume, and so the listener doesn't hear the pick note, and it comes out kind of a keyboard type sound. Okay, let's continue. 6:05. Strange bass sound. Let's fast forward to the 10-minute mark. Here we go. Or 9:58. Here we go. Okay, and let's move on to the last track, called Drop Near the Cabin. And as I recall, this was an acoustic track, on the Variax guitar. And basically, it sounds like, it's an electric, but it really sounds like an acoustic guitar. Though they recommend that you run it through a PA and so on. But I just ran it into the guitar amp so it would come out of the speaker and be picked up by the microphones. But actually, I recall liking this track. This was a long time ago, but 2007. So, all right, let's take a listen to that last track. Yeah, I really like this track. Yeah, it has that acoustic quality. Okay, and yeah, 2 minutes and 10 seconds long. So that's it. That was Modern Rock Guitar Volume 98, Life in the New Ice Age, featuring the Variax, Line 6 Variax guitar on there. And overall thoughts of this album is I really do like this album for many reasons. One of them is I feel it was more musical than some of my previous albums. I was starting to learn, when to play, when not to play, leaving space, not being rushed, and it ends up being much more musical, than throwing everything into the sink at once. So that's really one of the things I learned with this album. Definitely like the theme of the album, and each track complements the next, pretty well. And, of course, the Line 6 Variax guitar. Lots of fun. I think it's a little bit of a shame that now, you have to spend so much money to use that technology. In fact, I sold mine, and from what I understand, the guy's going to take it apart, take the Variax technology and put it in a different guitar, because the guitar wasn't all that great, it was kind of a cheapo guitar they put it in, the electronics on there. And it's not to be confused with MIDI guitar, it actually had a hex pickup under each string. Yeah, and I definitely miss the banjo sound. Was so much fun. And the jumbo acoustic sound. I just wasn't using it often enough to justify keeping it. And I'm glad I got to do this album, when I did have it. So yeah, that's a solid album, especially for 2007. Alright, see you next time. Bye.